When it comes to towing, seeing is believing. That's why Chevy Truck's advanced camera technology offers up to 8 available cameras for 14 unique views, so you can focus on the view that really matters. Chevrolet, together let's drive. Learn more about Chevy Trucks at Chevy.com. Safety or driver assistance features are no substitute for the driver's responsibility to operate the vehicle in a safe manner. Read the vehicle owner's manual for important feature limitations and information.
Fall is here, and if you want to sleep in the coziest bed imaginable, you have to start with Boll & Branch's best-selling 100% organic cotton sheets. You'll spend every night wrapped in buttery, breathable softness and feel your sheets get even softer with every wash. Discover the difference with Boll & Branch's 30-night guarantee. Plus, for a limited time, get 20% off and free shipping on your first set of sheets at bollandbranch.com with code SPAN. Exclusions apply. See site for details.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Upgrade your business with Shopify, home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning fewer carts going abandoned and more sales going cha-ching. So if you're into growing your business, get a commerce platform that's ready to sell wherever your customers are. Visit shopify.com to upgrade your selling today.
Hot dog! That's your hot dog! Hey, hot dogs!
So anyone who knows me knows that I'm an obnoxious foodie and also clearly a huge sports fan. And frankly, those things often come into conflict with each other. The only place I'll eat a hot dog or drink a domestic beer is a ball game. But one of my favorite events that I've ever attended was the MLB Food Fest back in 2019. You see, every major league team had a stand set up, and we got to try a single food item from every team. It was way too much food, and we ended up splitting pretty much everything. But there were a couple of standouts that each of us went back to get one of our own. The Yankees had an adobo pork belly bun that was created by a Filipino chef who modeled his mother's recipe. And the Oakland A's had a Belgian waffle Monte Cristo that is still the most delicious thing I've ever had in or outside of a ballpark. We did draw the line at the Seattle Mariners, who had fried grasshoppers. One of those was enough, and it wasn't even the grasshopper part, it was the fact that they weren't seasoned. But like I said, whenever I'm at a ballpark, I kind of need to have a hot dog, and I don't really eat them anywhere else. I don't know what that is. I don't even have them on July 4th. I'm more of a burger girly. Food at sporting events has obviously evolved wildly over the years, but there's something enduring about the stadium classics like the hot dog. I'm Kavitha Davidson, and welcome to another episode of Sportly. Today, in case you didn't notice, we are covering something as American as apple pie and hot dogs, the delicious intersection of food, baseball, and the vibrant culture that surrounds sports. Whether you're cheering from the stands or watching from the comfort of your couch, food is a huge part of the sports experience. We got nachos and fries, Cracker Jacks, pizza, wings, churros, and of course, our focus of today, the hot dog. With so many food options out there, nothing quite matches the iconic status of the humble hot dog at a baseball game. And in fact, the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council, yep, that is really a thing, estimated that a staggering 19 million hot dogs were eaten at Major League Baseball games in 2022 alone. But why hot dogs? How did hot dogs become synonymous with America's pastime? Today, we'll explore how this beloved food, which began its journey on the streets of New York, made its way into stadiums across the country and became a cultural icon for sports fans everywhere. In this episode, we'll explore what makes hot dogs a staple at baseball games, who introduced them to the sport, and how do they rise from a simple street food to an iconic symbol of American culture. We will absolutely not go into whether a hot dog is a sandwich. But to uncover the other answers, we'll need to start from the beginning.
We got Arnold, the hot dog guy here. You want one?
I'll take one, absolutely.
Ronnie?
Yes, please.
I'll have a
mainly mustard, or just a pinch of ketchup.
Hot dogs and sausages more generally have deep roots in European history, reaching back to ancient civilizations. While we're not going to go back quite that far, we're going to pick up in the 19th century when German immigrants come to the United States. When they arrive, they bring their rich culinary traditions. They introduce a variety of sausages, including bratwursts and frankfurters, which are not only flavorful, but also easy to prepare and serve. Early German immigrants quickly set up butcher shops and food stands across cities like New York, Chicago, Milwaukee, and Philadelphia. By the early 20th century, German sausages are firmly established as a common street food item, particularly in urban centers where street vendors sell them to hungry patrons. It's during this time that the association with baseball begins to take shape, as fans flock to ballparks craving a quick and satisfying snack while cheering for their favorite teams. But how does this tradition develop? And who can we credit with the invention of the hot dog as we know it today? Let's set the stage. It's a chilly day in 1901, and an Englishman named Harry M. Stevens paces nervously at his concession stand outside the New York Giants Stadium, wondering how to make a profit in such dismal weather. With rain falling and temperatures dropping, who in their right mind would crave soggy popcorn or risk getting even colder with ice cream? In a moment of inspiration, he decides to order German sausages, or Dachshunds, from a nearby food stand, hoping to offer the crowd something warm and comforting. He realizes that by serving the sausages on bread rolls, sports fans can savor their snacks without missing too much of the game. Handhold food items are the key of any stadium food. Stevens, a seasoned concessionaire, knows that every popular snack needs a catchy name to really sell. So in that instance, he coins a name that resonates with what everyone in the crowd desires on such a dreary and cold day. He calls them Red Hots. He later rebrands them as hot dogs, a humorous nod to his earlier struggle to remember how to spell dachshund. Stevens' quick thinking and entrepreneurial spirit soon established hot dogs as a staple at the baseball diamond for many Americans. But is Stevens really the first person to serve sausages on bread in the United States? Other concessionaires, including a German immigrant named Charles Feltman, also lay claim to this culinary invention. It's 1867 in the bustling streets of Coney Island, New York, and Charles Feltman is about to unveil his greatest idea yet, a delicious and portable sausage served in a bun, perfect for beachgoers on the go. He realizes people on the beach and tourists don't have the time or the desire to sit down with cutlery and plates to enjoy pushcart food. Frankly, if they wanted that, they would head into a restaurant. But by offering handheld, easily portable sausages, he saves them time and effort. Feltman's sausages become the perfect beach food. They're filling enough to keep you energized, but quick enough to prepare and eat. Plus, there's no need to pause the fun. You can stroll along the boardwalk, soaking in the sun and sea breeze, all while savoring a warm hot dog in hand. No fuss required. While many stories surround the hot dog's origins, whether it was a concessionaire on a rainy day or a Coney Island vendor by the beach, this beloved snack has undeniably become an American favorite. But why did the hot dog, of all concession foods, become so associated with baseball? While the earliest roots of the hot dog stretch back far, its iconic status in baseball truly begins in the humblest of times, the Great Depression.
The financial house of cards collapses, and the overinflated stock market plunges into a Great Depression. A financial panic grips the world.
As the stock market crashes in 1929, the lives of everyday Americans are profoundly affected. Unemployment soars, and many families struggle to make ends meet, leading to a drastic change in leisure activities. Once vibrant social gatherings see a sharp decline in attendance as people tighten their belts and redirect their limited funds toward essentials. In this environment, affordable entertainment becomes a lifeline. Sporting events, particularly baseball games, offer an escape from the harsh realities of daily life. As fans flock to the ballpark seeking low-cost leisure, the demand for budget-friendly snacks surges. Hot dogs, with their lower price point and satisfying portion size, are the quintessential ballpark food. They cost just a quarter, and they allow fans to indulge in a tasty treat without straining their wallets, enabling them to focus their attention and money on the game that they love.
Well, that's a hot dog, brother.
There you go, there you go.
Fall is here, and if you want to sleep in the coziest bed imaginable, you have to start with Boll & Branch's best-selling 100% organic cotton sheets. You'll spend every night wrapped in buttery, breathable softness and feel your sheets get even softer with every wash. Discover the difference with Boll & Branch's 30-night guarantee. Plus, for a limited time, get 20% off and free shipping on your first set of sheets at bollandbranch.com with code SPAN. Exclusions apply. See site for details.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Upgrade your business with Shopify, home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning fewer carts going abandoned and more sales going cha-ching. So if you're into growing your business, get a commerce platform that's ready to sell wherever your customers are. Visit shopify.com to upgrade your selling today.
The hot dog's reputation as a must-have at baseball games gets a major boost thanks to legends like Babe Ruth.
One of Babe's most unusual home runs. The Bambino slugs this one inside the park, races for the plate to beat the relay, and just hits the dirt before the ball. Wow, that was close.
Known as the Bambino, the Babe is more than just a superstar. He's this larger-than-life figure whose love for the game and for hot dogs makes him a cultural icon. He makes his rookie debut for the Red Sox in 1914 and his Yankee debut, we won't get into that trade, in 1920. And he plays a huge role in keeping baseball exciting, even during the tough times of the Great Depression. He ushers in the live ball era, hitting home runs at an unprecedented rate. His prowess at the plate, though, is matched by his infectious charisma. Off the field, Ruth is famous for indulging in foods that a lot would consider classic comfort fare, especially in hot dogs. He's often seen eating hot dogs before games, and sometimes even during games, in the dugout.
Long before the first robin of spring appears, along comes Ruth in his annual battle with his waistline. Almost 40 and kind of fat, but the Babe still has a lot of baseball in him, according to trainer Artie McGovern.
Things reach a pretty hilarious peak in April of 1925 when he famously has what people dubbed the bellyache herd round the world. See, after he collapses in a train car, rumors fly that the Babe scarfed down over a dozen hot dogs and quite a bit of soda. Now, whether or not that's true, that story does stick, and it solidifies Babe Ruth's connection to hot dogs and boosts the popularity of the food.
Got your head! There's the winner right there.
Hot dogs, along with other traditional working class eats, now come with price tags that a lot of families find really hard to swallow. Despite their humble origins, what was once cheap food is now often a splurge at stadiums. As prices inside the ballpark climb, more fans opt to eat beforehand or bring their own food when stadiums allow. And now, stadium food often reflects its regional immigrant history. We got hot Italian sausages as a staple in New York ballparks, while brats are the obvious play when you're at a Brewers game in Milwaukee. If you're at Wrigley, ordering a Chicago dog can make or break you, depending on what toppings you do or do not get. Absolutely no ketchup, and obviously only Vienna beef. These various sausages represent local immigrant communities, those from German, Polish, Jewish, and Italian backgrounds, who once made up the working class stands in baseball stadiums. But stadium offerings are also ever evolving, reflecting newer immigrant communities whose foods have also become local staples. In recent years, Yankee Stadium in New York and SoFi Stadium in Southern California had an outpost of sumo dog, reflecting Japan's influence on the game and culture of baseball. Now, speaking of Southern California, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the infamous Dodger dog. You see, there was a huge controversy in 2021 when the team's vendors changed the supplier of the iconic 10-inch Dodger dog.
The classic Dodger dog we all know and love is about to get a change of recipe. The Dodgers have confirmed their famous hot dogs will no longer feature Farmer John links.
It might seem kind of silly, but fans were certainly in their feelings about the change to their sausage. It affected their sense of fan identity, and it disrupted one of the regular and routine aspects of going to a game. But this disruption was tied to a much larger reality of stadium food culture: branding and sponsorship deals. We have to remember that nowadays, everything goes back to money, and the food offered at stadiums is as much a function of local culture as it is of lucrative partnerships that teams have with both local and national food companies. The hope is that those companies truly represent the fans in the communities around the ballpark. Sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't. The marketing aspect can also be seen in the evolution of the food itself. It feels like every stadium is trying to one-up the other with increasingly extravagant food offerings that are just made for Instagram. Specialty hot dogs have emerged that stretch the boundaries of what can even be classified as a hot dog. Take the Texas Rangers Boomstick, introduced in 2012. It's an enormous 2-foot-long hot dog piled high with chili, cheese, jalapenos, and onions. Priced at a staggering $26, even sharing it among 4 people leaves a hefty price tag. Then there's the Arizona Diamondbacks' infamous D-Bat dog. It's a 1.5 foot long corn dog stuffed with cheese, jalapenos, and bacon, served on a bed of fries for $25. I remember at MLB Food Fest, the Diamondbacks also had a churro dog. Now, this was a churro in between a glazed donut hot dog bun topped with ice cream and whipped cream. I do not think that they have that anymore. But perhaps the most unique contender is the infamous Pittsburgh cone, which doesn't even come on a bun. Instead, it's a kielbasa served in an ice cream cone, heaped with pierogi, Swiss cheese, and sauerkraut. We love our Polish Americans in Pittsburgh. As the offerings in the stadium continue to evolve and get ever more ridiculous, the culture of tailgating outside the stadium continues to surge. Now, for those unfamiliar, tailgating involves using the back of your car in the parking lot of a stadium or the bed of your truck for a pregame cookout. And it's really, really fun. Hundreds of people can show up. You have a group of, let's say, 10 or 20 people. Sometimes people charge for entrance to your own tailgate. And I have been to very elaborate tailgates where we have had prime rib steak and lobster tails. This offers a really great way to bond with your fans or your friends. You might not be sitting in the same seats when you're in the stadium, but you can all meet beforehand and you'll probably meet in the parking lot after. And it's just a really fantastic way to build community. Tailgating is a huge marker of baseball, football, and particularly college football culture. You see, tailgating has become such a cultural phenomenon that the USDA even has a dedicated page on its website for best practices for food safety and preparation while tailgating. Some teams and stadiums, though, have resisted this culture. They cite concerns like noise and safety, public intoxication, and littering. And these issues are certainly valid, but attempting to curb tailgating outright often seems aimed at benefiting the concessionaires and stadium revenue inside, a move that fans very much notice. But a lot of teams are beginning to embrace tailgating as a part of their culture, providing designated areas and tents, food trucks, and vendors. They're trying to cut into that revenue for sure.
Look at the sea of blue, look at the sea of tents, and in fact, it wouldn't be a Kansas City tailgate if there wasn't some absolutely epic grilling out here.
This approach allows fans to celebrate their teams on their own terms. Everybody kind of wins, right? Like the stadiums and the teams still get some of that revenue, and the fans don't feel totally exploited. So whether it's inside the ballpark or in the parking lot, stadium food serves as a bridge between generations of fans, building community and deepening the connection to the game. As we wrap up this episode, let's take a moment to reflect on the humble hot dog. Simple, but iconic. Hot dogs are as much of an expression of American culture as they are a tasty treat. Their ancestors came from abroad while they found their place on the bustling streets of New York and in the hands of aspiring concession stand entrepreneurs, topped with the hopes of immigrants seeking a fresh start. The hot dog resonated with the American masses during tough times like the Great Depression, and it became more than just a food. It was affordable comfort and entertainment, carving out a place in the hearts of those seeking simple pleasures and family memories, much like baseball itself. You see, food in any setting has the ability to strike sensory memories of childhood and perhaps memories of better, or at least easier, more simple times. On top of that, food in a ballpark setting is a key ingredient in team branding. The taste of that hot dog is the same as it was when you saw your team win for the first time. The food is as much of a ballpark tradition as the chants in the stands or the seventh inning stretch. And those memories are ever enduring, and they keep you coming back. Today, the hot dog continues to evolve alongside the game, with new toppings and variations emerging to complement the classic mustard and relish. But no matter how it's dressed or where it's served, the hot dog remains a loyal companion to baseball, embodying the spirit of affordable family fun and the simple joy of a day at the ballpark. Thank you so much for listening to Sportly. Sportly is an Immigrantly media production. This episode was produced by Sadia Khan and Shay Yu, written by Jonathan Hazel, Shay Yu, and me, Kavitha Davidson. Our sound designer and editor is Paroma Chakravarti. Our theme music was created by Simon Hutchinson. Other music by Epidemic Sound. Tune back in next week and every week after for more Sportly.